Tale, a barrage of bullets and a woman playing dead to keep from being killed. The Dearborn Heights woman is recovering in the hospital now. She's lost her hand, but thankfully not her life. She says her ex-boyfriend opened fire on her home. She tried to dodge, but was hit several times, and her fiance was also wounded. Fox 2's Camila Mary spoke with her about what could have been deadly.
Opened the screen door, and he just started shooting his gun, his AR-15. It was just shots everywhere.
It was Sunday morning, May 18th. Darshell Evans was getting ready to make breakfast for herself and her fiance when she says her ex-boyfriend walked into the house. Evans lives on Waddell Street in Dearborn Heights.
He just came in shooting. He didn't say anything. He didn't have any words. He just came in blazing, gunfire. That's all I seen is gunfire.
Evans' fiance is shot in the leg and yet is able to run away. But Evans is shot several times.
He was trying to shoot me in my head, and then I blocked it with my right hand, which caused the amputation of my right hand. And once he did that, I had to play like I was dead just so he would stop shooting.
Later that afternoon in Detroit, police arrested Evans' ex-boyfriend, Ashante Linnelly Ramon McAfee.
He just wanted me back. He was just like one of those type of people, like, if I can't have you, nobody can have you.
And in the 6 years they were together,
you know, maybe like a push or a shove or something like that, but never to the point where I had to call the police on them.
Evans isn't sure when she'll be getting out of the hospital. Eventually, she'll be getting a prosthetic hand and will have to learn how to navigate life with it.
I just take it one day at a time. That's all I can do is take it one day at a time, and I still have nightmares. I still have flashbacks. I just take it one day at a time. That's all I can do.
A GoFundMe has been set up to help Evans. If you would like to donate, we'll be putting a link on our website, fox2detroit.com. Camila Mary, Fox 2 News.
Developing tonight, Detroit police are trying to solve a deadly shooting from the east side of the city. Police say a transgender woman was found shot inside a home on Troster Street after 11 this morning. No suspects are in custody just yet. The motive behind this shooting is under investigation.
It was a house party in the 8500 block of Wisconsin. There was a verbal argument which led to gunfire and 2 people being shot.
And that chain of events, community activists say, is never acceptable and could have been amicably settled. A house party should be a fun event, but instead a fight broke out, and by the end, 2 men were wounded. One was shot in the ankle and the other shot in the shoulder. They both ended up in the hospital. It happened at a home on Wisconsin Street on the west side of Detroit. Police haven't arrested anyone yet, but they're asking for help. If you know anything, call Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers.
There was a brief struggle between the suspect and the employee here. The weapon was discharged, striking the employee.
And we have to tell you about more gun violence tonight from the west side of Detroit. A gas station employee was shot during an attempted robbery this morning. It happened at a Marathon gas station on Ewald and Davison. The employee was taken to the hospital, last listed in temporary serious condition. The suspect, though, is still on the run. He's described as a man in his 40s wearing a black ski mask and hoodie. Once again, reach out to Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers if you can help. All right, this is a wild one. A Michigan woman whose husband caught her in betrayal committed the ultimate treachery. Prosecutors say she doused her husband in gasoline, set him on fire, then ran over his body. And now she's learning how she'll pay for this crime. Investigators say it was back in 2007 when Linda Sturmer did this to her husband, Todd Sturmer. Prosecutors say Linda killed him after he found out that she was having an affair. Sturmer was first convicted in 2010, but was given a new trial in 2020. However, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Social media comedian HaHa Davis is behind bars for no laughing matter here. He is accused of domestic violence. The Detroit native, whose real name is Carlos Davis, was arrested by Utica police on Friday. Investigators haven't released any additional information on the victims. We don't know much about the circumstances. Davis is being held at the Macomb County Jail on a $5,000 cash surety bond. All right, time for us to talk a little weather now. Our meteorologist Stephanie Mead was soaking up the speed and a little extra vitamin D in Indianapolis at the 109th Indy 500, but she's also tracking the sunshine back here. So let's see how long it'll last.
Well, we did manage to see just a little bit more sunshine today here across the state. Not necessarily a super warm day by any means, but we are getting there just in terms of temperatures. Our daytime highs today were in the mid to upper 60s for a lot of locations. We were about 68 degrees.
You've summoned the power to make webinars easier from start to finish, and its name is Wistia.
We now know why federal agents raided a business on Milwaukee's South Side earlier this week. They were looking for counterfeit clothes, bags, and jewelry. And court documents show the feds have already seized more than $1.6 million worth of goods headed for that shop to then sell. Not long after federal agents forced their way into Duty Fashion Monday near 6th and Mitchell, the evidence boxes quickly filled a pallet outside.
They will not be here for something like small. I'm sure there is something big happening around.
Turns out this neighbor was right. Fox 6 obtained federal search warrants that show as far back as June 2017, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol have seized more than $1.6 million worth of counterfeit goods. It was all headed for addresses associated with the Milwaukee Clothing and Fashion Store and those working there. Most of the shipments were coming from Hong Kong, including one in April 2020. The agency seized a shipment that had 36 Rolex watches, later determined to be counterfeit, which had a suggested retail price of $960.
Police in riot gear cracked down on a mob gone out of control near downtown Los Angeles late last night. A large group vandalized police cars, metro trains, and businesses. Welcome to the Fox 11 Weekend News. I'm Laura Diaz. Susan has the night off. The chaos left a trail of destruction. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez live in downtown LA with what happened. Christina?
Yeah, you can see some of the destruction behind us, some of the windows as they tried to break in. You'll notice that people who work in this area did not want their faces on camera when we talked to them. They say this crowd was pretty scary. Take a look. Crowds of people leaving the rooftop of an empty warehouse on Trinity Street in downtown LA. LAPD responding to what they describe as an unpermitted music event that quickly escalated. Fireworks lit on the street as the crowd moved on to Washington Boulevard, with LAPD tactical units right behind them. Video here of metro trains covered in graffiti. Police saying the line was temporarily stopped in Washington, where partiers marked up the trains as they banged on windows that stuck passengers. The crowd leaving their graffiti mark not only on the trains, but the businesses all along Washington at Trinity.
It definitely is a lot.
Dumbfounded customers reacting at the few businesses that opened today at a mini mall off Washington, where almost every inch of walls and windows covered with graffiti. Hundreds and hundreds of people. Y todo este graffiti, all this stuff. It could have been worse, he says, pointing to the only broken windows, those of the Wava Grill that remain closed. They went overboard, says the man at a mobile key business. His concern echoes others I spoke with off camera who say they've seen illegal party crews come out of the surrounding warehouses, scribble some graffiti, but nothing quite like this.
Kids will be kids, but yeah, it's definitely a bit much. A little too much sugar or something.
Or something, indeed. Now, no arrest, but LAPD saying they did have one officer injured, transported to a hospital. The extent of the injury is not known, although we are told they are not life-threatening. Live in downtown Los Angeles, I'm Christina Gonzalez, back in the studio, Laura.
Christina, this was incredibly disrespectful to people and property. Any idea what led up to it?
They're saying it was some kind of music event that was not, they did not get a permit. And, you know, we have a lot of the empty warehouses here get taken over for raves, but usually they have some kind of permit. This, according to LAPD, was not. They just kind of took over the place. And people here saying they're beginning to have a problem with that. A lot of empty buildings in the area.
All right, Christina, thank you so much for that live report.
I watched A24's Bring Her Back, and let me tell you, this is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And I talked to dead people.